Okay. You're live. Okay. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Aradhana from Be the Change page, the founder of page Be the Change, and an Access Consciousness certified facilitator, and your friend, and to take today's guest. So, before I start, I just wanted to welcome you all and say a little about Be the Change page and this talk show. So, this is my favorite talk show, as I always tell you guys that this is like my dream project that I always dreamt in my childhood, that how I have to like really, really interview people and know what they know, because this is was my thing when I used to get up. I used to go and sit with everybody who was elder to me and wanted to, and I used to go and ask questions to them. What do you know about life? And what did you learn from life? It was like I wanted to know what they learned, what they knew, and so that I can actually grab onto that opportunity and go and play on it. That was funny in my world. But then I used to read different magazines where I used to read a lot of people that who had the courage to follow their heart, and they went through everything but still didn't give up and created some new change and new possibilities on the planet Earth. So for me, everybody who is basically following their heart is a celebrity who had that courage to follow what they knew, and how their one person's change brought the change on planet Earth. So it is a very, very heart melting space for me, which I actually when invite all the guests who I think is a celebrity, and I know they are for sure a celebrity in their lives. Have they changed my world with their stories, with how they were in their life, and I just bring them here so that, when we talk, they can bring another possibility in your world. And today's guest is a very, very special guest, whose one move, as we always say, that, your one step is changing the world. His one move changed the entire face of India. And he was the first person who got access consciousness to India. And like, I'm sure people were doing it all over the world, but he was the one who actually dared to go experience it in the world and get it to India, and show a possibility. And now I don't know how, I don't even know the number of people who are doing it in India and how many people are getting their bars run. Bars is a part of Access Consciousness classes and workshop, and Access Consciousness is a space where it actually gives tools to people to live by what they know, and it empowers people to know that you know. So, but this guestify is not only um, focused only at access, but also has different modalities, very beautiful background. And but I just wanted to share that part, because I mean how one person's one move can shift and change the entire planet. So don't give up, and don't, and I just want you to take that back, that your one step can actually change uh, the face of this planet. So trust on you, trust your knowing, and follow your heart. And here I would like to say a little bit about who the guest is, and I'm sure most of you know who the guest is. But it's Rattan Singh, and he is my the favorite person on the planet. So and I'm really, really honored today to kind of get the chance to interview him. Rattandeep Singh, known as RD, he is one of the first Access Consciousness certified facilitator from India. After serving Indian Army for 39 years and exploring healing modalities like rebirthing, breathwork, Reiki, pranic healing, emotion code, advanced meditation, and many others, he, along with his wife, introduced Access Consciousness in India. Also, he's among the first 3-day body class facilitator from India. Known for his unparalleled kindness and allowance, he has been creating ease with bodies across the globe for many years. So let's welcome the person who got me introduced to miraculous tools of access consciousness, the phenomenal RD. Can we have you, RD, here?
Well,
Awesome. Welcome, 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 welcome.
welcome. So nice to be interviewed by a beautiful lady like you.
Thank
Like you're so
you.
lucky.
How did I get so lucky to get
Yes.
this chance? I'm like on the seventh high right now, that, how could I get this chance to be sitting with you? And I remember when I for the first time saw him, I was like, oh, he looks like that Indian Sikh religion guru, Guru Nanak Ji. So I was like, and I'm a been follower of him all through. And when I saw him, like, wow, I see him in person. So how did I get so lucky? I'm really, really, really. It you just melt my world, and you melt so many people's world. So I'm really honored. Thank you. So today I'm gonna really, really churn you out from your. We want to know your life because people know you as an RD, the kindness you truly be, and how you got access. But I would like to let us know your journey much before access. Where did you start your life from, and how was the army life, which was so linear, and you're into the total non-linear world now.
Yes.
So what is that whole contrast? So if you may start your life wherever you want to start from.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Aradhana, for having invited me for this beautiful interview. I really feel honored. Well, like you said, I was in the army, and before the army, I was in school. And in those days, something I didn't like very much was studies. So, and I
Not
didn't,
that we don't.
and as I didn't like studies, I said, what is the best way to get out of studies? So in our school, there were a lot of youngsters who used to do the 10th class. We were a higher secondary school, but we used to pass our 10th and then join NDA. And then, once you pass your 10th and you join the NDA, within 4 years, you started getting a pay of 450 rupees a month, which in
Just
those days was an amazing amount. And you said,
wow.
and you don't have to study, no studies.
I like that. The
So
short.
my main motivation to get into the army was to not have to study.
Wow.
Unfortunately, they never give you the correct picture.
True that.
I have never studied as much as I studied after joining the army.
What you resist persists, right?
Yes, absolutely, you got it. So it was really a very tough life in the sense that you had to study a lot before you joined. You became a graduate, and I've done my post graduation in business. I've done my post graduation in military sciences. I've done my engineering, everything possible. And then
Wow.
on top of that, you have to do your tactical studies also, which have to do with serving in the army. So it was a very full life. But I feel it was a wonderful life. It was a beautiful life. I would say one of the beautiful organizations today where a person could really find a lot of satisfaction is in the army.
Wow, that's so amazing to hear that because
Yeah.
I've always seen people complaining about it. This is the first person I'm really listening so beautifully. I guess you love everything. That's the beauty of you, wherever you are,
You
whatever.
can complain for anything. But I find that the army is such a beautiful organization. I remember when I got commissioned, I was posted first to Ambala. So I just got off the train and I took I think someone had come to pick me up. So I got into the jeep and I drove down to the officers' mess, and I had a room to myself. My meals were taken care of. Everything was taken care of.
Wow.
And now I compare it with my son, who, when he joined and got a good job in some company, he had to go to Bangalore. We had to go hunting around for a house. Where will he get his food from? Where did you do that? Where did you do that? In the army, everything is taken care for you.
Wow.
You really looked after very nicely. Of course, we had a busy schedule to get up in the morning, and there was a lot of physical exercise involved, which was a good thing. So it was, I think, a very nice job to be in. Not too much of pressure, and it was good fun. We used to enjoy. We used to have a lot of fun. It was the most fun-filled 39 years that I ever spent in my life. Not that now is it noisy, a thousand times better than that, but it was beautiful.
Wow.
Really
So what
enjoyed
was the best part of the army? One, of course, you didn't have to study, and you eventually had to study to be in the
it.
army.
Hell
So
of a lot.
that was
Yeah.
amazing. But you studied because it was joyful for you then, because you
Yes.
started enjoying it so much and when you
And
do it from the space of joy, I guess it just makes a difference.
yes, and what I found was that even though I was in the army, which is a very structured organization, I had the independence that within my area of control, wherever I was, say I was a commanding officer for a unit, or later on I got to a higher rank and I had more people under me. I had the freedom of running them and organizing them the way I would like to do it. And I gave a lot of freedom and delegated a lot of stuff to people. I never controlled anyone.
Yeah, that was my question about to be because the way we know you, you melt us just with your presence. So how was that with the army? I mean, I cannot even fathom that you can ever be strict and ever being scolding or ever being tough. And army requires stuff. So can you
No,
say that? No.
that's another misnomer that army needs stuff. Army needs you to have confidence in your people who are working for you. You have confidence in them. You trust them to do what they will do, and they will perform brilliantly.
Wow.
That's what I found. I delegated total delegation. I used to have just time to go and have tea with people and to relax and to do, interpersonal communications, create a good environment for the organization I was in. But besides that, all the work was done by my people who were working for me. And they did a wonderful job because I trusted them. I
Wow.
empowered them. I
Wow.
empowered them to a beautiful degree. So it was a very lovely organization. I gave preference to the juniors more.
Hmm.
Just for example, in the army, you're very structured. You have a CO who's a colonel, and then you have a second lieutenant who comes in. So whenever there's a dinner party, the CO and his wife and all, they will all go have the chicken breast pieces and leg pieces, and the poor lieutenant who's left with only gardens and all. In my unit, I said the second lieutenant and his wife will go first.
Wow.
Use whatever they want.
Wow. That was amazing. So you
Just
were born
nothing
only to empower. I guess you were born only to empower. How amazing.
just let people go and do what they want to do. And once you trust people,
Yeah.
they will always perform for you. They will
Wow.
never let you down.
Can you say more around that when you trust people? Because in this world, where it's, and you especially coming from, especially from the army background, where I'm amazed to hear that everything's so about kindness in the army too. But
Yeah.
coming from that trusting people, but when people say if you trust people, they can actually stab you at your back, or they can, I mean,
You see,
leave
it
that.
depends on what is your motivation of trusting them. If you have no agenda, hidden agenda in trusting them, they will never stab you.
Wow, no hidden agenda, and then you trust. Wow.
So what I used to do when a person used to get posted to my unit, I used to have a 1 hour, at least a 1 hour relaxed interview with him. I used to have a cup of tea, some sandwiches, and I should talk. And I said, "You're coming to my unit. I feel very privileged." And I'm the CEO, and I'm telling him that I feel privileged that you could come and join my unit. And I value you, your experience, your knowledge. And I would like you to contribute that to the unit and not listen to what I say. Well, I said, my knowledge, my experience, my thing is limited to what I know. But I've got 30 people working under me. Those 30 people have their own individual experiences.
Wow.
So if I can just motivate them to, open up and talk and to suggest and I used to have such. So whenever we used to have anything, we had a new project came up. I said, "Oh, this has come up. What are you going to do?" And I used to sit down with 30 of them, and I said, "No, I'm not your commanding officer. I'm part of you. And so you give your suggestions, I give my suggestions. We talk everything around and all, and we will just see what shows up."
Wow. So you were always working with them, and
With
nobody was working for you.
no,
Wow.
and
That's so.
they always surprised me. They surprised me by performing to such excellence. I cannot even put words to it. It was such a beautiful experience. And I loved it. I so loved it. And therefore, when I came into the world of access and all, it was very similar. So
Yeah.
much at home there also.
Yeah, so much
Really
at
great.
home. I guess it's so. What I'm getting here is like knowing you over the years. It's like I think it's you who actually creates the aura. It's you who creates the space, and everything just becomes a reason. Maybe it's an army, whether it's an access or any other modality. I think it was the main highlight is you.
Yeah,
So I
but
think you have been radiating that all through, which I now like sense because knowing you here and now listening to your, background, it is so in congruence with each other. That's so beautiful.
yeah, but and, what I would like to just suggest to everyone that we all have our own beautiful auras. We all have our beautiful presences. But due to the society and it's saying, "Oh, you're not good enough," we keep judging ourselves so much,
Yeah.
and we make ourselves smaller and not good enough, and therefore then you're worthless. Then you have to look up to someone
Yeah.
for validity or for performing and all.
So I
You
really,
don't you
yeah.
don't need you don't need it.
So I really want to ask, see, Adi, everybody knows so your kindness, your meltingness, your sweet part of your life. What is the underlayer of that? And did you ever face, did you yourself ever go through the judgments? Did you face the failures in your life? Did you had tough life in your own personal life ever? Because nobody ever knows about that secret.
Yeah, yeah. So it all depends upon whether you take it personal or not. Like for example, when I was in the army, I retired as a major general. But unofficially, we got to know when our board was held that I've been cleared to become a lieutenant general. But in fact, I didn't become one for whatever reason. And my friends and all who knew me, they said, "You must fight. You must do see. How can you? I said, forget it. If the army doesn't need me, I have no care, no this thing that I must go and do that and all. So for the first time, I never myself wanted to achieve things for my personal gain. I used to do it for the good of the organization, for the good of people, for empowering people. And
Wow.
when you empower people, then your whole motivation towards looking in life is different.
But you mean to say you never felt low? You never had those moments of giving up, or were you not stressed, or was it like never a low moment in your life?
I don't think I ever stressed that I would like to give up everything or anything.
Wow. And did you have, so how were you dealing with your daily life? And then you got married. Did you get married in army while
Yeah,
after joining the army?
yeah, after joining the army. And I
Yeah.
got married. I was very lucky. I got a very nice person to get married to.
Yeah, you got a beautiful woman around you and whose aura really, really makes you more greater. Because
And
I love her too. And
she's such a contribution to our life. It's
yes,
unbelievable.
totally, totally she is.
And today I find that in Access, we now co-facilitate the foundation class together. And her contribution in those classes is at least 100 times more than mine. She may not believe it because she thinks that, oh, I've just come in and he's been the first guy and this. But actually, I know, and most of the people who come to the classes know
Yeah.
that her contribution is immense because she's got this sixth sense, she's got this awareness about things which I perhaps don't have to that level. And
Yeah.
I'm so fortunate to be married to her. And we
Yeah.
had children and we had a very fun life throughout. It was such a beautiful life. Yes, there was work to do in the sense that every 3 years you are moving from one place to the other. In 39 years, we must have moved 10 to 12 times. Children are changing schools and everything. But we had no great ambitions either for the children or for ourselves. In fact, both my children were very average students. They were intelligent, but school they did average. But today they're doing wonderfully well.
Wow.
There was no pressure I put on anyone at all.
You never had the problems of you being into the army and your family left alone or separated or your
Yeah,
kids separated.
Tho- yeah, those portions were there, but then it was, if you have a wife who's understanding or children who are understanding, it is not so bad.
Yeah.
And fortunately, the army has a thing of taking care of people. Like for example, whenever I was in a field area, there's someone to look after the wife and children. So it was not that it is just left like that. So it's pretty good, well organized organization.
Wow.
Wonderful.
Wow. So can you tell us that what made you shift from this linear world of army and regular day-to-day life to different modalities? What started intriguing you about the different modalities and
Yeah. So the different
realizing?
different modalities start while I was in the army.
Oh wow.
When I was still a major, I was still a major. At that time, I started. What is the purpose of life? Why are we here? I got into meditation. I got into yoga. I got into reading a lot of books.
Mm.
And I just wanted to know what is the purpose of life? Why are we here? So that journey started at least about 30 years from the army. While
Wow.
I was in the army, I carried on doing all this. I did my Reiki. I became a Reiki master while I was in the army.
So people have to say that people join these kind of things with spirituality fields because somewhere they're unhappy or they are sad in their lives or they were going through a trouble sometime. That's when they
Uh,
turn inwards. Was it true for you?
no, for me, it was just wanting to know more. What
Wow.
else is possible? What else is possible? And I remember one gift which my uncle, who was in the US, gave me when I was a major was a series of book called, it was called Master Teachings of the Master of the Far East. Teachings of the Master of the Far East was a beautiful 6 volumes of a book which was written by a set of Americans who visited India and Tibet in the late 19th century. And
Mhm.
they wrote about their experiences there. And when I got that book, I was posted in a place called Sikkim, which is on the border, with
Yeah.
Tibet and China. And when I read it, it moved me so much, because here was the thing, all the things that you talk about, that they were recorded evidences of people moving from one place 1,000 miles across to another place instantaneously.
Wow. My body is really, really vortexing when you're saying that.
Yes,
I can
they
get
were
it.
they were a, they were a group of these Americans. There were about 10 of these Americans. So they were traveling with about a few hundred of these Tibetan Indians, and they would walk across the river and cross. And these people had to take a detour, go over a crossing place, and then cross over because they could walk across water.
Wow.
There was a few hundred people. Food was not cooked for anyone, but food was always made available to them.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
it is
Magical.
so very amazing. And the beauty is that they were saying that there was this guy who was carrying my luggage and moving up, and we came to a village, and there we found that this person, his dead body was lying there with plants growing around her, and he was actually dead, but this person had embodied himself to carry the luggage. So
Wow.
yeah,
Guys,
and
you're not freaking out.
yes, and then the person who wrote the book, he said that you either believe it or you take it as a part of fiction. And when I relate to what they did, it is so much like our nine trainees in the Access.
Wow.
Being present in more than one places.
Yeah.
You see, you heard of stories even in our mythology of a rishi or a muni who's present in more than one place at one time.
Yeah. 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 We do have so many stories in India. So
Yeah,
many.
you do have. So it is actually a reality,
Yeah.
and this very much matches with that. So I got into that, and I said, "Lord, what else is possible? What else is possible?"
Did you ever had that experience for yourself? Did you like
Being in more than one place, no, but I have experiences of going to distant places in my dreams and all that stuff. Very real and yeah.
wow. So then, so you started moving to different modalities. So I know by now you've done zillions and you're still trying new, and like you keep you that really intrigues you, and you keep catching on to every new modality that comes across, which is like so amazing when I see, oh, Adi is doing this also, Adi is doing this also, Adi is doing this also. It's not that he stopped at Access or he stopped at one extra Reiki or XYZ modality. But I'm so grateful, to say that you actually tried and tested and got Access, and Access has really changed a lot of people on the
Yeah,
planet.
this is quite an accident actually.
Yeah.
It so happened that we were in Australia on a holiday, I think in 2009, 2009, and my sister, her daughter from America came to Australia, and she sent a book through her, called "Being You, Changing the World" by
Beautiful.
someone called Dr. Dane Heer. And I started reading the book, and I used to read the book to Kiran, and I said, "What are we doing here? This is how we should live our lives."
Wow.
We actually, that's right. And we not heard about Access at all. And towards the end of the book, he talks about, that there are these classes, there are the bars, and they have this, and then you can do all that. So I said, let's find out. So we went and Googled, and there were a few people who were doing bars classes in Australia and Sydney. So I signed up for those class. I signed up for a class. It was Maiva, Dolly, and all these people you must have met.
Yes.
So she was my first
Wow.
bar facilitator. What a magical lady.
Yeah.
And I remember when I went for that class there were all these access books lying on the side. So I said, "Can you suggest me some books?" She said, "Sorry, I can't." I said, "Why? These are your books. Have you not read them?" "Yeah, I've read them all." "But then why can't you suggest what I should buy?" She said, "I don't know what you'd like to buy. You ask a question and buy a book that seems right to you." That sort of turned my life over down, because I said, here she has an opportunity of maybe selling me 10 books, and getting rid of them. But she said, no. So my whole thing shifted. Then I did the first bars class, and she said, if you do these two more bars classes, and in those days there was no discounted prices. We had to pay full price because there was no one from
Yes.
India or anyone doing those classes. So I paid. I think it was $200 a class. So I paid $200 in my first class. And she said, if you do two more classes by two other people at half the cost, and once you've done these three classes, then you can conduct this class. So I said, wow, that's a great thing.
Yeah.
And that struck me, and I told Kiran, I said, yeah, this is wonderful. And imagine we taking this to India, and no one heard about it in India, and we can make a lot of money out of it. And
Wow.
that was
Yeah.
what was a thinking, that small
Yeah.
thinking. From army is a great life, but the only thing you didn't have very much of was money.
Yeah. I wanted to talk that more about it once you finish this. Then
So then we learned it, and Kiran, she said, I won't want to. Then I ran people's bars at home, and it was such a weird. I never forget the first time I ran my daughter-in-law's bars. I told her, that it's something I learned newly, and at the best, your life will change. At the worst, you'll have a good massage. So I ran her bars, and after this, she said, "Papa, you lied to me. Neither have I got a massage, nor my life has changed." Okay,
Mhm.
but that night I could not sleep. I kept shivering, and I had dreams of being in some intergalactical wars of
Wow.
some this thing. I was shivering, and Kiran had to bring me 4 or 5 blankets to put on top of me. I still wouldn't stop shivering. So next day, then I went to those people and asked, "Yeah, that is something called vortexing, you know."
Yes, what
But
ex-
it was an amazing experience. So
wow.
when we started running people's bars at home, our lives started to change in the sense that there was less stress, less tension. And when Kiran saw that, she said, "Yeah, this is something beautiful. I would also like to do it." So she also did it. So we both did three classes, became bars facilitators, and then in I think 2010 January, we came to India. And we came here and we said, so we should go and talk to people. And I was very keen. And she said, just shut up. No one wants to listen to what you're saying. I said, don't need such a thing. And she said, no, just let it be. They will come. And then we used to have the little intro classes and we started getting people to come and do these uh, bars classes. And I used to do bars classes for free for people and all. But then what I decided that I must become a facilitator, access facilitator. So then I chose that in 2010, I should become a bars facilitator, access facilitator. So within 1 year, I did all the qualifications required, and by December, I became a became an access facilitator for foundation class.
And I must tell everybody who's new joining us new and has not heard, he and that has changed the entire India. I think it's just changed. So one move, one choice of lightness and of that courage that he just thought that it's so exciting. Let me go forward, and he and Kiran and they've changed the entire India. I mean, there are no words to express that, but I would love to let people know more around it from you, Adi. That
Yeah,
what is access and what is how is it different from Reiki and other modalities? You
yeah,
have been trying other modalities.
yeah. So yeah, like I mentioned, I've done a lot of modalities. I'm a Reiki grandmaster. I've done EFT. I've done emotion code. I've done past life regression, and I've done so many other modalities. I've done a number of meditations. I've done all the meditations of Osho, all the dynamic meditation and all that music. Everything I've tried out. What attracted me to Access was that they let you choose what you would like to create your life as. Every other modality, without exception, told you this is what you need to do, and when you do this will happen in your life. And this is what the right thing is to do. This is how you're supposed to be.
Wow, true
These are
that.
good and this is bad. So much of judgment. And I came to Access and say, we empower people to create a reality they would like to choose to create for themselves. So actually, the main difference in Access and other modalities is Access values your free will and free choice. And they want you to create your life the way you would like to do it. Like my life today is much different from your life because we both in Access and pretty many years.
Yes,
And you have a beautiful life, and I have a beautiful life, and Kiran has a beautiful life, and all our lives are different.
true that.
There is one set way of that. I think was the most powerful thing in Access, which I didn't find anywhere else.
So now also you've been learning so many other modalities after access too, and you still find that nobody else gives the choice as much as access does.
That's very true. No one else.
No one else. Wow. So
Except
guys,
that,
choice matters.
except I
What is
came
choice, Adi? Adi, if you might like to say what is choice?
see, choice is that okay. So we live in this reality. This reality is this world, and this world is full of judgments. This world is full of right and wrong, and good and bad, and positive and negative. So all our choices that we have made before I came to Access was: is this the right choice I'm making? Is this the right house I'm buying? Is this the right car I'm buying? Is this the right decision? But when you come to Access, you give up all those rights and wrongs. There are no rights, there are no wrongs. There are no goods, there are no bads. You choose what's right for you, what's going to contribute to your life. So you ask the question: if I choose this, what will my life be like in 5 years? If I don't choose this, what will my life be like in 5 years? And wherever you get a lightness, you go for that.
Uh,
And that is the way you choose. You
but
choose.
it, yeah. So
Yeah.
so go ahead. Go ahead.
So you choose for the lightness, not for the rightness or the wrongness. The rightness and the wrongness is not a choice. The choice is this.
It is what I've seen over the years with access for with working with so many people, as I'm sure you have done that too. But it's like the question is, people don't know what is lightness in the world. So
Yes.
so what is lightness, if I may ask you?
So
And if,
lightness is when something makes you feel aha. Like If you see the first rays of the morning sun, makes you feel light. You see the smile on a baby's face, that makes you feel light. The first sip of a beautiful cup of coffee makes you feel light. These are the light things.
The way you're saying it makes me smile more. Thank you. Thank you.
That's
That's
light.
so
That's what
beautiful.
light. And
And
if you want to practice to know what's light and heavy, it's very simple. Let's say I got a mobile phone in my hand, all right? So I say, I have a mobile phone in my life, in my hand. And I just say that and I keep quiet. And I sense the energies that are going through me. Now, this is true that I have a mobile phone in my hand. So I say, I have a mobile phone in my hand. And I sense these energies. These are the light energies. If I say, this is a pen I have in my hand. Now my energies have shifted. That is a heavy feeling. So you can practice this every day. You do it 10, 15, 20 times every day. Within a week, you'll be absolutely tuned to know what is light and what's heavy.
oh,
Just to practice.
just to practice. Yeah, that's such an and
But
Adi
we never
knows
practice that, you know. We
body
want to,
class
yeah,
facilitator.
yeah.
He knows how to talk to bodies, guys. So
Yeah.
take his advice, and he's amazing. And so a lot of people, when you come across with these tools, Adi, they say that you, Adi, changed my life, or Aradhana changed my life, or Dane changed my life, or Gary. Would you like to say something about, because it really icks me at times when people say that you changed my life.
Yeah.
What will it take for people to acknowledge that they changed their life, they made that choice to come
Yes.
to us or whatever? We are just the facilitators sitting here. So
You're
would
very
you empower something around there?
right.
Because
So you see, another thing which I learned about access was that you can never change anyone's life. You
mm,
can show them how they can use what they have available with them to change their lives the way they would like to change it. But you cannot change it for them.
guys, get it. You change your lives.
You change your life.
Yes.
And I may try as much, Aradhana may try as much, you cannot change anyone. That person has to be willing to receive the change and be the change. And the thing that makes you change is choice. You have to choose. You have to make a choice.
Yeah.
And then your life changes. And it's you, no one else. So when people say, oh, you did this, I said, okay, but will you please acknowledge that it is you who are actually changing your life?
Wow, that's so beautiful. That's, everything you're saying is melting me. Thank you so much. And would you say something around being a guru, as compared to what access teaches as, and empowering you as your own guru? But still, people in India make you the guru.
Yeah.
Like as you just said, that RD changed your life, or Aradhana changed your life, or Dane did something. So could you say a little more around that too?
So see, being made a guru is look. I've got nothing against gurus. Okay, before I came into Access, I had a lot of points of views about religion, about gurus, and about everything. But after coming to Access, I find everyone has their own place and their own reason for being there. So now, a guru, what I find the difference between guru and Access is a guru tells you what to do. The guru says that if you do this mantra so many times, this thing, your life will change. Access says, ask a question. Choose what feels right to you and change the life the way you would like to change it. And they never tell you do this and this is bad or this is good, don't do this, don't do that. There are no do's and don'ts in that. That is the main difference between access and a guru. A guru will tell you what to do. Do meditation, do deep breathing, do alom valom. I did a lot of alom valom, you know. I used to follow our friend, which was he's very popular in India. I used to follow him.
I like the way you follow Kiran on the corner sitting there.
Yes,
I like that. Your guru is Kiran.
yeah. So it was really, it was so amazing. So these gurus have their own points, and it is like I heard many gurus. They say that I need followers. I've heard them say, I need followers so that I can change their lives. In Access, I've never heard anyone saying I need followers that I can change their lives.
No,
Code word in Access is empowering people to know that they already know.
beautiful.
So different. It's totally different.
Wow. It just gives so much of lightness even when you're talking, and I know I've been changing all the
Yes.
more.
Yeah,
Thank
you
you for
change.
this. And yet, also, I've seen a lot, Adi, that how you change. As you said, the army really didn't have money. And I have heard your stories and Kiran's stories that how, I mean, you lived happily even then with whatever the money you had, and how you have shifted your money reality after coming into Access. So, would you like to put some light on that area?
Sure. So when we were in the army, we had a beautiful life. And both Kiran and we had one thing in common is that we were not bent upon saving money. We were bent upon having a nice life, even with that at that time also. And I remember we used to always land up in a situation that by the last week of the month, we ran out of money. And so then we used to, used to have a local bania, a sort of a shopkeeper who used to, provide samosas and all in a unit. So we used to give him a 100 rupee check on the 25th of the month, and he used to give us 90 rupees. So those 90 rupees used to see us past the last 5, 6, 7 days of the month. That is our condition of money. I remember when I got married to Kiran, I had just 74 rupees in my bank.
Wow.
74. That was the reality. And as we moved along in the army, I didn't. I used to go for. I went for a few foreign assignments, foreign visits, and all. And in all of them, I took Kiran with me, and we traveled and we spent money there, and we came back happy. Other people would go; they would not take their wife along. They will only eat a little potato and save a lot of money and bring it back because money was important. So, what my philosophy on money is that yes, we don't have too much of money, but enjoy life. Don't save up. And I used to tell Kiran, I said, what's the fun, yeah, of saving up money for a time when you don't have teeth and you can't eat anything, you're diabetic and you're this and you're that, and you cannot do anything. So we had fun throughout. But yes, money was short. It meant a lot to us. And then I went for this the first facilitators class in 2010, and I told Gary, I said, yeah, Gary, this access is a beautiful thing. It is so amazing, but it's so expensive. And India is a poor country. We don't have money.
Wow.
So he said, okay, I think I need to work on you for a little while. If you go back with this idea, access will never go to India. So he spent about half an hour trying to do all my clearings on getting rid of that access is expensive and things like that. And then he asked me one question. He said, tell me honestly, are you poor? Until he asked me that question, I actually thought I was poor.
Wow.
But then I thought I've got a beautiful house there. I've got this. There's no really poverty inside. It is just that we don't look at it that way. We've been made to believe that we are poor. Actually, we are not.
Wow. Wow. That's such a great question. Are you poor?
Are you poor? And then for the first time I thought about it, that day I couldn't answer him. I was dumb. For next day I told him, I said, Gary, I must stand up and say that you asked me this question yesterday, and today I'm telling you that yes, I'm not poor. And that changed a lot in our lives, by just acknowledging that actually you're not poor. We've been made brainwashed by the people that you to save for the future. You save, people have been told you please save for a rainy day. Now, what are you doing when you're saving for a rainy day? You're creating a rainy day.
True that. I always say that too.
You have to save money for a rainy day. You know? So that was a background from which we came. Money was short, and then I came and I got into access. And another thing, when I asked Gary why are the classes so expensive, he said, remember that the value that a person will get from your class is equal to the value of the money that the person is paying to you. And what I found in my 10 years being a facilitator is that the people who took loans, who broke FDs, and who scraped the bottom of their barrels and paid for the class actually are the people who gained the maximum from the class.
Wow.
Remember, there was a group of four ladies who came in Jaguars and Mercedes to attend my class, a foundation class. At that time, it used to be 66,000 rupees. They paid it and went away, never used it. Because
Wow.
66,000 was meaningless to them.
Yeah. Wow.
So
Can you
that,
talk more about that when it's like that money is meaningless to you and
yeah. So what Gary was saying that time was that the value that a person will get from your class or any class is equal to the value that that person is paying to you, how much he values that money he's paying to you. And what I found that people who broke FDs, who took loans, and then came for the classes. For them, that money was very valuable because it was not lying around with them. They had to really make some arrangements to get that money. And when they paid you that money, what they got from that class was the most valuable thing.
Wow, that's so. And so, how did you change your money reality? Because I've seen your money reality changing like over the
Yes,
years, and
yes,
it's so beautiful. And still, I'm sure you spend all the money. And
yes.
but now you've been flying your first classes, you've been traveling the world, doing the
Yes.
classes. So
Yeah, so I tell you how our really reality changed. It first changed 1 year after I became a facilitator, did some foundation classes and all, and we were in Bombay attending one of Gary's classes, being held in Marriott or somewhere. And Kiran and me were sitting there near the reception, and we found our friend, क्या उसका नाम है यार? Tulika. Tulika coming out.
I knew Kiran is helping around.
Tulika came down in a lift.
Yeah.
I said, Tulika, what are you doing here? I'm staying here. And I looked at Kiran. I said, look, she did the class with us, and she's staying here. And we are staying at some relative's place. Not, I mean, we love the relatives, we're close to them. I said, why can't we stay here also?
Oh,
That sort of changed our lives. Then after that, we said, no, we will stay where the class is. And it was not a difficult thing to pay for it. It was just a mindset, you know. You start to stay there and you start to change the way you're looking at money. And you start to look at money that there's more than enough money in this abundant reality to go around.
wow,
More than enough. You're never short of money. You are short of your receiving.
wow.
You're not willing to receive the money. The moment you start receiving money, unlimited amount of money is available to you.
So next question is how to receive it.
Yes, then you have to give up all your points about your receiving. And in India, fortunately or unfortunately, we have so many points about receiving. A classic example I give to everyone is that a parent whose daughter is married and out in some family, they will say कि अब मेरी हम अपनी बेटी का घर का पानी भी नहीं पिएंगे. We will not even drink water from our daughter's house. They are not willing to receive.
Yeah.
So we have so many points about receiving. We have points of view. If you find a bag full of money, what will you do? You'll be floored. You won't know what to do with it. But that money is a gift from the universe to you, but you'll not take it as that. So there are thousands and thousands of points about receiving, and we're not willing to receive.
Beautiful.
The moment you give up all your points about receiving and you're willing to receive money from anywhere, you'll find money just flowing into your life. You'll never, ever, ever have a deficiency of money.
It's like you started demanding to stay in the hotels, you started demanding to fly first class.
Yes,
And that means the more you demanded, the more money came to you.
always. You see, because we found that if you had to travel from here for say 24 hours and go and take a class the next day, if you're traveling economy, how the hell can you take a class?
Yeah.
So you go in luxury,
Yeah.
sleep and go. And I tell you, luxury means I remember we used to get into the flight and I used to still have a little food, a little wine. Kiran said, I'm going to sleep. And she'd sleep when we take off and get up when we land. Not eating anything, nothing, just relaxing. It was so beautiful, you know. So you can change anything in your reality.
Oh. It's not about the money, it's about you.
No, it's just about you and your willingness to receive and change your life and be happy.
Yeah. So, can I say here more around other questions which really show up is that I'm sure like your kids, your sons, your daughter-in-law, or anybody's from the Access family, people who are really really good performing, like I had been there, Gary's kids or stuff. What is it that the family doesn't choose to take access when you're performing so well? Like, I don't think your kids relate to you as through an access facilitator when I met them. For you, of course, you're a father and Kiran is a mother. But what never attracts the family members to get joined in, and the people near dear friends of you who do not
Yeah.
want to?
So I just try to mention here that in the family, let's say my family, uh, we have a lot of my cousins and all who are all in access. They somehow just took to it and they came into access. You know, you heard of them; they're all there. My children, they've done foundation, they've become bars facilitators, some of them, but they're so busy with their jobs, they're so busy with work, and that is again a point of view which they have got, that this is how they need to live their life, and it's their choice. So they know, they like my grandchildren, all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. They will say every day, how does it get any better than this? What else is possible? They will do the clearing statement.
How is that different from doing any mantras what we do it in India?
See, the mantras you do because someone has told you that if you do this, your life will change. But this is not about changing your life. This is about just accepting everything. Like when I say all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory, it is not the good. It is everything. The good, bad, ugly. Everything comes to you, but it comes with ease, joy, and glory. It brings ease in your life. And truly access brings ease in your life.
That is, I vouch for it.
Anyone else, they will give you mantra, you do this mantra so many times, yeah, that's the point of view. I've got nothing to say against it, but that's it. It's a little different. But here it's just ease. So I would have loved my both my children to leave their jobs and to become fully in access, but then their aspirations and all are different. So it's a choice they make.
It's just a choice again.
And but whenever we go there, we run the bars. They get the bars run by everyone. They run each other's bars, so it's good.
So I laughed at how many doctors people want to be. Actually, kids want to be doctor, but they've been forced to become doctors. So
Yes,
it's always you should have a choice. Maybe
choice.
facilitator as a family, but your family doesn't want to choose the same thing. Correct. So how does it get any better? So another thing, you are the first body class facilitator in India who was gifted and who's actually a gift. And I've attended so many of your body classes. And you don't say a word, and my world changes. I wake up, I go sleep on the bed, and I wake up, and I'm changed person totally. And it's like, wow, not a word, and I've changed totally, because
Yeah.
that you are from totally from a no point of view space. So could you say more, like, what is bodies? Because in most of the spiritualisms and most of the modalities, body is bad, body is wrong. So could you say some more about that?
Yeah, so the religions and many spiritual modalities say that all the problems in your life are your bodies. The body is a place where all the sins reside. But this is all from the point of view of judgments. What is a sin actually? There's nothing that is a sin. And your
Sex
body,
is sin. Sex is sin.
no, it is not sin.
Is it? Spiritualism
No,
says so.
the spiritual, yes.
The modalities so say so. You
Yeah,
have
so so you have a body here which has been given to you to enjoy life, to have fun, and we want to usko we hit it and we really judge it and we create so much of problems in it, and we some of them we don't even acknowledge that we have a body. Most of us are just carrying a body around, and we just moving. And the only time we get to know it's a body is when you have a pain in the body,
yeah.
or you have an illness or a disease. And you say, my God, if I didn't have a body, I wouldn't have pain. Then you wouldn't have had fun also. Why are you having pain? You created the pain. So your body,
Can you say more around that? You created pain. Like people like, why will I create pain?
you have fun creating pain. If I have pain, then you'll come and ask me, आपको वो दर्द था? How is it now?
Yeah.
If I have no pain, you'll not talk to
Sympathy,
me also.
sympathy. Like you
Huh?
never
Yes,
wanted to go to school if you had
yes,
fever, then mama will take care of you.
yes, true, absolutely. So that's what it's all about. You create pain because it gives you some payoff. And many times you create pains which, because you want to get out of life, you're fed up with life. It's all these stresses and things that we put on ourselves that create the pain and the illness and the diseases. And here, what I have discovered is that every body has the inherent capability and capacity to heal itself if we allow it to.
Wow.
But we don't allow it to be. The moment you have a pain, you can run to a doctor, he'll give you painkillers, you take those painkillers, and you make the pain yours. But if you just allow the body, talk to the body, hey body, what are you trying to show me with this? What can we do about it? How can we change it? You'll get some awareness. Follow
People
that.
don't get an answer. We don't get an awareness. We do not know how to listen to the body.
Yeah, so listening to a body is also a technique which you learn.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
not
so
very
glad you have to attend RD's body classes, guys.
it's a very simple way of getting to know what when your body is talking to you. If you're willing to listen to it. So here I'd like to mention the body is a asset to you which is contributing to you and speaking to you 24 hours non-stop.
Wow.
If I get a little itch here, the body's trying to tell me something. If I get a rash here, the body's trying to tell me something. If I get a stiff elbow, the body's trying to tell me something. But we don't listen to it. If you feel thirsty and you don't drink water, the body's trying to tell you something. If you eat something and your tummy gets upset, your body's trying to tell you something. Are you
Wow.
getting it? So the body is constantly communicating with us if we are willing to listen to it. And if you're willing to listen to it, and if you're synchronous with your body and you understand what your body requires, how much it requires, when it see, even if you take eating in this world, most of us eat because we like to eat. But you don't need food. You have a body and the body needs the food. If you didn't have a body, you won't need to eat. But you never ask the body what you'd like to eat.
Wow. True that.
So you just have to relate and connect with your body and just be aware of what your body. And we eat normally because it's breakfast time, lunch time, dinner time. But the body may not be hungry at that time.
Yeah. So how's this with the time thing? You've been into army and it's like a time fit. I remember once when I was coming to attend the workshop at your place for the first time and I was looking at the watch. I'm like, shit, he's from the army. And I've always been myself very disciplined. I would always honor people reaching earlier. And that was the day, though I left early, I still reached late at your place. And I was like, shit, man, this is an army guy. And I'm already late, blah, blah, blah. And you were quiet and kind. And then didn't say a word, but my guilt went on and on. And I finally eventually asked you, like, hey, sorry. But he says, yeah, it's not about that. It's just about honoring others. So, now how's that time related to the time with the body and time with the world here? So, can you say a little bit?
Time actually is an illusion. It doesn't exist. We have created a time. There is no time in the ocean. There is no time in the forest. There are no clocks hanging there for a lion to look up and say, "Oh, it's breakfast time. Let me get a goat." They eat when they're hungry. They don't eat because of time. So
I
this
mean,
is something we have created to regulate and control our life. What if you were to give up all regulations and control? And like I said, the only reason to be on time is if you have told someone that I'll be at your place at 10, you go at 10 because it's an honoring of that person. And this Gary gives his own example that his son used to always come late. So till he told him one day, he said, "Look, if you can't come on time, please don't. I will have nothing to do with you. But please realize that when you give a particular time, you coming on time is an honoring of me, and then it also becomes an honoring of you." So that's the only reason for being in time or not being in time. Otherwise, time is really meaningless. And how long it does. So how long does it take to do something? That again is an illusion. We say that a bar session should finish in 1 hour. Gary runs Dane's bars for 7, 8 hours. They run their implant band for 4 hours. So what are we talking? I've seen in Australia people running bars for 6, 8 hours. So
wow.
this time is just an illusion. We don't have to go with it at all.
So I know I mean, I can keep going on and on and on talking to you, and it's so beautiful because I'm being selfish. My world is getting melted every time I'm talking, every question I'm asking. I'm so grateful. Yet I would like to know more around the relationship also because there is a so and one was before I shift to the relationship thing was also about how does this body class helps people. Thus, I wanted people to know about what you do and how can they
Yeah.
connect. Of course, we have your links we have been putting on the chat, guys. If you want to get in connect with Adi and his classes and his workshops, all the links are in the chat. You can always get connected there or ask and get in touch with our team to get you connected to him. So Adi, what would you say, what is this whole body process facilitator class, sorry,
See,
body process class?
the body class is a 3-day class in which we have a group of people who are paired up together to work on each other's bodies. And one thing I'd like you to know here that bodies love to be touched. But in this reality, touching someone's body is made to be wrong. So that's the first block you have to get over. So the bodies love to be touched, and you touch the bodies and you do certain body processes on people which changes their lives totally. Like I'll tell you, Kiran had a illness called restless leg syndrome. and they said there's no cure for it. Our niece in US was a doctor. She said there's no cure for it. You have to live with it. Even the doctors here said there's no cure for it. When it becomes too much, just take some medicine. Then Kiran went and attended advanced body class in Bombay. And after the advanced body class, she came back and that pain just disappeared. It was no longer there. She
Wow.
didn't know what body process made it go away. But when she came back from the class, she's free of that thing. I
Wow.
remember, yeah, I remember I did a body class in Antalya in Turkey. And there's a lady on the third day, she said, I want to share something. We said, sure. So she went and, leaned on the wall and stretched her two legs in front. And she said, when I came on this class, before the class started, my left leg was 3 centimeters shorter than my right leg.
Wow.
Today you
Wow.
can see today you can see they're practically the same.
Whew. Don't go for this magic, guys, at all. Don't do classes
So
for magic.
there's one girl who came to my class in Delhi, and 3 months after she did the class, she sent me a email message saying that we've been married for 10 years, and it's only after this class that I realized that I really have a beautiful relationship with my husband.
Wow.
So what changes and how it changes, we don't know, but things change magically in a body class.
Yes, they do. Thank you. And can you give a last but not the least? I know I can keep going on. So you were also facilitator for a marriage
Yes,
relationship.
I've got a class which comes up, which is now named Impossible Relationships.
Oh, MG, impossible relationship.
Relationships, when you think it can't get any better, it can't get any worse. It can't get it. When you think it can't get any worse, you can come to our class. It's a 1 day class. We run it over 2 days, 2.5 days. And I think we have one coming up in September. So basically, in this class, what we try and show people is that a relationship is something beautiful that you can create
I
and
mean,
create
you and Kiran have been into relationship for how many years, if I may ask?
10 years. No,
Just
actually 49.
can I add a zero there? 49. Wow. Wow.
49.
So
For me, it seems like 10 years.
I know, I can get it. I thought it will be just 1 year, but 10 is quite a lot. I get it. So you're still in love as the first year, right? So do I see. But I'm sure you went through ups and downs in your lives in your relationship. So
Yeah.
any tip that you would like to say quickly before
Yeah.
and
So the tip I'd like to give to people is please be honest in your relationship. And here I'd like to share that in our relationship, from the first day that I met Kiran, she was totally honest with me. Totally. But I, to a very large extent, was not honest with her because I thought I didn't want to hurt her by telling her things. And I used to stop telling her things. I never used to tell her openly. So please don't do that. Be totally truthful with each other. You'll have a beautiful relationship.
so how about being honest to you? How's that? What is there's a separation here, and sometimes people say, oh, be honest to you.
Yeah,
So
be
I
honest.
get that if you're honest to you, you'll be honest to the other person too.
Yes,
So yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
You have
okay.
to be honest to you and honest to the other person also.
Yeah.
But many times we have this point of view that if I tell it, it may hurt the person.
Yeah.
So I don't want to tell that person that.
So, but there's so much of this extramarital affairs and extra affairs, and you've been with somebody, but you still not want to be with somebody. You still want to be somebody else,
Yeah.
and then you're bored of this one person, and you want to be with the other person. So, any tip there, like quick tip
It's,
there to
again, here also it's a point of view that you see the point is that if you get into a relationship and you're looking for someone else to have a relationship with, then there is something that is not going okay with you, with the person you're with. So in all honesty, if you feel like having a relationship with someone outside your partner, share it with that partner
yes, yes, I love that. Yes.
and say that I'm drawn to that person. There's nothing serious, but I feel that I need to spend some time with that person. That's okay. But if you try and hide it and do it, that's where the problems start.
So happy you said that because I always trusted and I always believed in and always did that with my husband. I always spoke about it. And people used to say, you're a crazy woman. Anyways, he's dying, you'll kill him. I'm like, no, but I love to talk everything. Why should I hide? If I have to hide, then why do I have to be with him?
It's true.
Right, but that's so powerful. Yay, I feel so excited with this whole thing. Cute.
You like,
How does it get any better than this? So, what would you like to say towards? And then you beautifully said around "Be the Change" earlier, but anything you would like to say to this page of "Be the Change" and anything, any quote from you for "Be the Change" and never give up, never give in, and never quit. So,
just remember that the only thing that is constant in your life is change. If you're not willing to change, you blocked and locked your life in, and nothing. You cannot grow. You cannot really expand and be who you the potential, the true potential that you have. That can only come if you're willing to change, and change comes from choice. You have to keep choosing to change, keep changing. And I give you small examples. If, for example, you're going to work every day, you take the same route. You never take a different route because you're used to that route. If you go out for dinner, you'll go to the same restaurant or two restaurants. And when you go to the restaurant, you order the same dishes you ordered last time. You never try anything new. You go to a mall and you only go to that section, design place where the designs, colors, attract you or you feel comfortable there. You will not even look at the other places. So in change, there is so much there, but we exclude it. We're not willing to be open to change. We're not willing to make the choices to change our lives. And change is beautiful.
awesome. So be the change.
Yes, be the change. Totally.
Um, and how about people like having suicidal effects, and how things are going in the society with the COVID? People are depressed, they want to kill themselves because they don't have money or they're issues. So how about never give and never quit, never.
Yeah. So these are, having no money and wanting to kill yourself to do something is again, it's the things, thoughts you bring into your mind. If you're not in access, if you just if you can just meditate every day, if you can just be with yourself every day, just relax and take it easy and go with the flow, you'll find it is easier. And if you're in access, of course, there should be no problem. You should not think about suicide.
Then we have a suicidal month coming in September.
I know.
You have a
That's
few
more
hours
significant.
running. So
Suicide again is a choice. If you want to choose to go, you go.
you're allowed to have suicide, huh? Because it's a choice to. Okay, suicide is a choice too. So wonder what you would like to choose. And I
Yeah,
always say that if you choose to go, nobody's gonna miss you after 10 minutes.
very true.
So it's you who's gonna lose it, not the other one.
Yeah,
It's like you just change and your world changes and you start walking different path.
yeah, true. But
So
you don't have to kill yourself before time. In fact, you should live for as long as. And that's another thing I'd like to mention is that one of the things we learned when we were in the army that we'll retire in life. Now I know you never retire.
yeah.
You carry on living for till the last day.
I remember when I got into Access and asking you this question, my God, why was I not taught this in the school? And you
Yes.
turned and told to me, like, what about me, Aradhana? I mean, I learned it at this age and you still learned it earlier. Yeah, then that got me like, okay, yeah. But can you say a little bit before we leave that, what if it's not our age is just a number, and how, you're still like getting younger each day. Every moment I see you, you get younger and I get excited. And, like, I wish I will always have you as my boyfriend. So what? So it's like, can
I
you?
am your boyfriend. Just remember.
I know. Thank you. I didn't want to say in front of Kiran. No,
But
just
she doesn't mind it.
I know she doesn't mind it.
Yeah.
She's amazing. She's willing to share you with everyone.
Yes. And I just like to mention here, age is actually just a number.
Yeah.
You bring in all these thoughts in your mind that, oh, I'm getting old, I can't do this, I can't do that. This is all bullshit. You can do anything that you desire any time of your life you want to do it. It's just your thinking and the way you program your mind that makes you feel that you cannot
Yeah.
this old, you can't do this. You can do anything you want anytime.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful for this whole conversation. I think where did an hour pass? I don't even know. It can go on and on. But I would love really be thank you to you. Thank you to each one of you who was present here. Please share this video with as many as people as you think if it really contributed to you to the world. And soon I'm getting. I think what I just got was we have to hear this perspective from Kiran now. What Kiran has to say about Adi soon. So stay tuned. She'll be here soon on this
Okay.
talk show, and let's see then what we get more because
Yeah.
these people, I never wanted to interview them together because I always see them coming together. I was like, no, I'm gonna grill them separately this time.
Thank you. So
I'm
that's how you get
separating them. I'm the
I
girlfriend.
know, I know. Thank you, Radha. Thank you for this wonderful, and I love the questions you asked.
Yeah,
I
no,
love
it's
your
such a
energy. Your
such.
energies are so beautiful.
Thank you, thank you. It's such a contribution. I mean, no
Good.
words can ever express, but I'm really deeply, deeply, deeply grateful to you. And
Great.
thank you for what you be. And I always say that I remember that sentence in your class. You said that, you one difference, you being you, making that difference is changing the world. And I got it when I got it. I jumped out of my seat. I was like, what do you mean? I do one thing here and it changes the world everywhere.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yes, and that's what you did and you have been doing and creating. Thank you. And
Thank you.
thank you, my team, Sonali, Ritu, Bharata, Shumangi, wouldn't have been possible without you to co-create this beautiful effect. And thank you, each one of you who's been present here. And stay tuned for more to come on these talk shows. And each talk show just opens my world to a different space.
And I'm so happy you're doing these.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm so happy you guys are agreeing to come here and talk it out. And because I don't know where all it reaches, whatever it reaches, it's a consciousness job, but I'm sure it's changing the world.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right. Thank
you.
you,
Bye.
everyone. Bye
Bye.
bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye. Bless you.